Hello, everybody, and welcome to the PanelCast. This week, I am here, and I am joined by Mr. Richard of KSK. What's up, Richard?
How's it going?
I am AJ, in case you have forgotten or don't know or just don't care, or whatever. Hi. I am in my man cave as usual. I am on location again.
Is it on location or at home? Like
Um,
when you come here, wouldn't that technically be on location?
well, I mean, both are in the studio. It's just remote studios, right?
True.
So I guess on location would be outside of the house.
Yes, when you're out on your patio, that was on location.
Right. Um, or live uh, when I go see a movie,
True.
whenever that happens. So in this episode, Richard and I are going to discuss the one thing that is all over the news right now. And no, not the Olympics. And
The
no,
Olympics are happening.
not politics. No, we are going to talk Deadpool Wolverine.
We are definitely going to talk that. Not only we're going to talk it, we're going to spoil the hell out of it.
Yeah, we're spoiling. If you have yet to see Deadpool Wolverine, uh, um, just stop watching this show now because we're going to be referencing the shit out of it and spoiling everything about it, ruining everything that there is to ruin about it because we want to actually have a conversation about it.
And even make up some stuff that didn't happen.
And I don't know about Richard, but I have not been able to have a full on legit conversation about this movie with anybody because nobody else I know has seen it. Um,
Yeah, same. No, Freddie. I've talked
Yeah,
talked to
Well,
Freddie
I
about it.
saw it with Freddie, so
I know.
um,
That's why I was able to talk to him about it.
we're going to discuss Deadpool Wolverine and also uh, something we touched upon on the last podcast that we put out, and that was San Diego Comic Con 2024. We didn't get to go this year, and we want to talk about all the news that came out because of it and the lack of Tilted Kilt that we didn't get to.
I will not go back to San Diego Comic Con until the Tilted Kilt returns.
Well, Justin wears a tilted kilt. That should count for something. There,
No, not the same.
Some of you may be noticing the new logo showing up on the bottom corner. That is the Silverlight Hotel. That is a werewolf comic book that was originally developed by Jason Graham. I recently had to change his bio on our About Us page, and it reminded me of all the great stuff he was working on before he passed away. So I decided to throw a little love his way by putting the logo of his comic book up on our page. So just want to let Jason know that we're thinking of him. Much love, Jason, especially with the new Cthulhu tattoo I got.
We could do a whole episode just talking about him.
Just talking great stuff about Mr. Jason Graham, the reason I play D&D, and so many things.
The reason I listen to punk music.
Skateboards, everything, Mr. Graham. And the wonderful joy that is his seeing his kid playing concert, Danny Graham, with Fever Dog.
Actually, very very odd thing. There was a point where his family first had moved up the hill. It was like right before the end of school year. I think it was 9th grade.
Yeah.
So like it was like a month, I think, before the end of the school year. So he stayed here, and actually he stayed in this room that I'm recording from.
Okay, there you go. We all have our Jason stories, and we loved him very dearly. And it was a big gaping hole in our lives when he passed. So I just wanted to show a little love by throwing his logo up there. So much love, Jason, and the Graham family. Hope you're doing well.
For sure.
You would have loved Deadpool Wolverine, Jason. That movie was fantastic. I saw it opening night. When did you see it, Richard?
I saw it Monday. I think it was
Monday. We saw it opening night. Richard's roommate Freddie and I, we went and checked it out. By the time we got there, unfortunately, all the collectibles were gone. Everything had been wiped out. There was like nothing collectible left. I had to bring my own cup to get an icy. But
I don't know why they didn't plan for that. That I heard that across so many people through all social media about how quickly everything sold out. Why didn't they plan for that?
here's the thing that I want everybody else to know: Cinemark theaters, do not purchase anything online from Cinemark because unless they promise to deliver it to you. Because otherwise, if you purchase any cups or anything from Cinemark and then you go to the theater to pick it up, they will sell it from underneath you because they don't keep an inventory control in the theater,
Even if you've already paid for it?
even if you've already paid for it. Because that's what
Oh
happened
wow.
with my Star Wars cup. I went and I got the Phantom Menace cup online, the collectible Phantom Menace cup
Right.
online, and then when I went to the theater to collect it, it had been sold. And I was like, I don't understand. I purchased this. Why wasn't it put aside? Why wasn't it removed from your inventory? We just don't think to do that. So they sold not only my cup, but they sold the cup twice, which means they made twice the profit off of it. And then I didn't. Not only did I not get a cup, but I didn't even get a refund. All I got was, "I'm sorry. Here's a couple of points," you know, which is sad because I love Cinemark. I go there all the damn time. And yeah,
How did they not give you like what do you have like credit now or what? Like
yeah, and I already have like 300 points in credit. I go there all the damn time.
yeah.
Like giving me extra points on it is like, I don't know. Might as well just
So
spend them on
basically they're like,
popcorn.
we have your money and we're keeping it.
Right. Like, thanks for your money, dumbass. So anyway, by the time we got there, there was no collectibles. So we were asked out, and we had to see it in the theater with great sound and seating and everything, and it was fantastic. I loved it. Uh, I couldn't get enough of it from the opening to the ending, even to the very ending. We stayed after the credits. Enjoyed that scene, but I only saw it once. You've seen it like 3 times. You said
Yeah.
so. You just
Yeah.
really hate that movie.
I well there's so many little Easter eggs and so much, uh it's just and it's enjoyable. Like I really love I love the interaction between Deadpool and Wolverine in that movie so much. Like it's so and you can tell just generally how much these guys enjoy each other if you watch the press junket, just how much fun they're all having, you
Right.
know? And that's the thing about the movie. It doesn't feel it feels fun. Feels like they were having fun making it. And that's something that makes like when a movie's enjoyable for me like that, I'll watch it multiple times.
This was 48 hours with Wolverine and Deadpool to me. That's what
Yeah.
it felt like. Nick Nolte, Eddie Murphy,
Yeah.
running
Yeah.
around trying to take care of shit. That's what it felt like to me, and I enjoyed every second of it. Um, did it go? What did Ryan Reynolds almost Chris Hemsworth the movie? Almost. There's a couple times where I was like, dude, just take it seriously, but not so much where it ruined the movie for me.
See,
'Cause it didn't.
now
I
I
thought it
know you
was,
didn't you're talking about Hensberg and was it Love and
yeah,
Thunder or
Love and
whatever,
Thunder.
right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. See, I liked him in that movie. I thought it was hilarious. I didn't think it was over the top.
I did. I thought it was just a little too much.
I thought just because I've seen how goofy he is on a lot of like the press junkets and interviews, I think that's the most that we've got to see his actual personality come out in a Thor movie. And that's what I liked about it. I mean, it wasn't the best script in the world, but
Right.
I didn't think he was over the top, you know?
I did. I felt he was a little bit too much, too hammy, um, too much of lightning of the moment. To where I was like, man, is that what everybody feels like when they hang out with me? Like because I pop a lot of jokes, and so I was a little self conscious. And there were a couple times in Deadpool and Wolverine where I almost got that feeling, almost. But like Wolverine would pipe up and say something serious, or would go
Yeah.
along with the joke or something like that, and it would switch it over, and I'd be okay. Like, but there's sometimes when I'm just like, dude, the guy's name is Paradox. and you left him in charge of the Time Bureau. His name is Paradox. Hello. Like, Captain
And
Obvious
that's
here.
telltale signs.
Well, but for the audience, for those of you who didn't have a chance to see it or whatever, it is Deadpool and Wolverine. Deadpool gets invited to join the TVA to fix a timeline in a way only he can, and he
Well,
decides
that's the
to.
thing. He wasn't invited to fix the timeline. He
He
was
was
invited to to
destroy
uh
Limbo.
to survive, as be a survivor of this time. Like basically, it's what was it? Infinite Crisis on Infinite Earths. Like as your world is destroyed, like he was invited to be a the lone survivor and
Right.
basically join the Marvel universe
Right.
in an awesome scene.
And he decides to go and find the Wolverine to join him. And we are subjected to probably some of the best Wolverine cameos I have ever seen in my life. I know on film,
Oh,
much less
100%.
much less anywhere else.
100%. The
And
the the different versions of Wolverine that they jump through in that multiverse scenario. Honestly, if that was the total highlight of the movie, it still would have been worth seeing.
right,
It's like what is what's the one where they actually use where they put on the X-Men movie where they put on their costumes? It's only like 5 seconds at the end of the movie, and like a danger room scene.
I don't.
I
I
can't
know the first one
I
they
can't
put on
remember
there.
what movie it was. Anyway, whichever one it was, that was the only thing I liked about that entire movie. But like, so if it was like that and it was just that montage, it'd have been
Oh, you
well
mean
worth
First
it. It'd
Class?
been worth my money.
X-Men First Class when they all crash on the beach and they have their
Yeah, yeah,
their, their original costumes on. Yeah,
yes. But yeah, I mean that montage. Like, okay, so in him jumping the worlds through the different Wolverines, we'll go through them all, obviously. But which one was your favorite?
the John Byrne one in the brown costume. There's two. Okay, the John Byrne one in the brown costume because I really wanted to see that costume. That was like my favorite costume of all time,
Right,
only because of the ties to the Brood and all that stuff.
right.
Um, and then the X Men 180, was it X Men? No, the Incredible Hulk 181, 182 scene where Wendigo and the Hulk show up.
Right.
That scene, those are my two favorite scenes. And then the other
I
ones I wanted to enjoy, but here's the problem with those scenes, real quick. Okay, they happened so fast that everybody was laughing so hard, including myself, that I couldn't hear all the jokes he was telling in between while they were hopping.
Yeah, that's
Because
something that you actually I think you just told me about yesterday, which
yeah,
we'll
I
we'll
was
get.
so busy laughing that I couldn't hear everything he was saying, or the audience was laughing. I couldn't hear over you know what I mean? So I want to see it multiple times so I can hear everything that was going on and catch all the stuff like you've been doing. Otherwise, I had no complaints. Like the whole scene,
So
fantastic.
so hands down, my favorite um, is, for obvious reasons, something we've discussed on this show before, is the Age of Apocalypse Wolverine. I thought they did a great job. He looked awesome. He was just tearing shit up, like it was
He kept
awesome.
beating the crap out
He was
of
beating the
Deadpool with his
crap out of
thumb.
him.
With
However, the comic book accurate Wolverine, it gets gets a very big notable mention because that was hilarious.
that answered everybody else's questions that have been like,
Right.
even myself, who's been
Yeah,
like,
why not? Well, there's why.
Wolverine is 5'3", and
Yeah,
here he comes, 5'3" Wolverine, and we're all like, oh, that's why,
yeah, exactly.
because it would have been ridiculous.
It's absolutely, like, I mean, it's It seems, but even in the comic books, for the fact that he's not written that way. I mean, how
Yeah.
tall is Puck?
Yeah. Puck is 5 feet.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
when they draw Puck, he's obviously that size. When they draw Wolverine, Wolverine seems like he's 6 foot tall. You know what I'm
That's because
saying?
they always draw Wolverine around the women. If you ever
Right.
notice, he's always around the women. The only
Yeah.
time he's around guys is Cyclops or Colossus, and that's when
Yeah.
Colossus is drawing him.
Cyclops is a big boy too. So
And Sabretooth. And Sabretooth is always,
yeah,
usually intimidating above him.
there was the part and speaking of like where you not being able to hear certain things, the cavalry is an awesome scene.
Yeah.
And
I
just the
did not
stuff that
realize.
Deadpool says. Like
I,
Deadpool even says it like before he turns around. He's like, from behind you look like, and then he turns around and he's acting, all fangirl. Oh my God, it's the cavalry. And may I say, what do you say? May I say you look may I say the fans are right. You look awesome or something like that.
yeah, I didn't
And then
realize
he
that was Henry Cavill. That was Superman as Wolverine, and
right.
that was awesome.
Oh, he was huge.
He was huge. They
Dude, the
should have put him
size
in
of
the
his
five foot
back
three
was
costume. They should have put him in the 5'3" costume so they could show him bursting out of it.
I like how he did the reloading from Mission Impossible.
Yeah.
When he brought out his claws, he did the same thing.
Yep. He
That was pretty
caught the
cool.
arm.
Yeah. Yeah, that was awesome. I loved them all. Him. Of course, the being on the X was pretty awesome. Like
Yeah.
every
Him
one
being
of
crucified on the X.
those.
Yeah.
Yeah, every one of those in that montage was cool and done really well. Even though it's just for a hint, like it's stuff we wouldn't think we were going to see.
Right.
And that's the beginning of the movie. It's very early on in the movie.
Yeah. I would have liked to have seen the Brood in there, or
The Brood. Can you imagine the Brood version of Wolverine in there?
that would have
Oh,
been fantastic. Um,
but
or I was surprised they didn't show a Weapon X. Did they show a Weapon X version?
no,
No, but they already have a Weapon X version from the movie.
yeah. I
That
mean,
just,
he's been done in Weapon. It was Origins that they did the Weapon X, or
yeah.
so. Yeah. It all out of all of those scenes, though. Like I said, it's just even though they split through like a split second. Everyone left. At least with me, left an impression. So,
Yeah.
and like I said, it's very early on in the movie. That's not even getting into like that's counting one cameo.
Yeah. What was so after we leave the TVA, we go into
Hold on, I gotta look at
just
all.
non-stop destruction of Wolverine and Deadpool fighting, and
What
that
was that?
scene in itself was fantastic. The Wolverine and Deadpool fight, the first
Oh,
one.
which one?
Yeah, the first one.
Okay,
Not the car one.
right. The car one. No.
It was ridiculous.
Yeah, the first one where where what is it? He tells them, "All right, nerds, this is what you've been waiting for. Go ahead and find your
Yeah,
special sock."
when they're both getting in their poses.
Yeah, yeah, that was epic. That was an awesome fight. And they went at it, man. Like the fight choreography on that was awesome. Actually, in both the fights that they had, the fight choreography was awesome.
Yeah. And we're back. Okay. That little glitch in the Matrix you saw there? That's right. That was us going pee.
We saw that black cat walking across twice.
It was a glitch. It was us going potty. We had to go potty. I remembered to take the microphone off before I went into the potty. it would have been awkward if I hadn't.
Well, it'd have been awkward had you had the microphone on and been recording.
Or broadcasting.
Yes. Just leave it on
Mahaim.
there.
Damn it. Ah. All right. So anyway, Wolverine and Deadpool. What was the one thing we didn't touch base on was the co-creator Roy Thomas is now complaining that he's not getting top credit as the creator of Wolverine, and that his credit is coming after Stan Lee and Len Wein as the creditor, as the creator, because they're saying he was an editor at the time,
Right.
even though he did come up with adamantium and healing factor and mutant and all that other stuff.
Well,
So
here's
yeah.
the thing, though. He hasn't got top billing in I don't know how long. So,
Well, he
like,
went to court and fought for it. Finally
right.
got the billing that he was supposed to get in 2022, and now he's getting the top billing in all the Marvel comics, even though everybody's complaining about it. But he's still not getting the billing in the movie. And I'm like, well, get over it.
Well, I mean, he also when he fought for his billing and everything, he fought Marvel. You know, he fought the entity that was Marvel. That entity no longer exists. He didn't fight Disney,
Right.
and Disney changes the world, and I mean history. It rewrites it all the time.
Especially Marvel
Disney in
history
itself is a multiverse. So,
and in Star Wars history.
right, every history. If it's anything that fits Disney's narrative, they're gonna push Stan Lee above any other creator. As a huge fan of many of the other creators that are out there. You know, you can go for Daigo, you could go to, let's call it any of the other creators. I mean, Stan Lee took part in everything, but Stan Lee wasn't the driving force behind every single character. However, he's the face of Marvel Comics. He's what the casual fan knows, so that's who they're going to push.
Right.
He's the Mickey Mouse of Marvel.
Figurehead. He's the figurehead. He's the
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, nobody else knows who any of these creators are. I mean, sure, comic book fans, hardcore fans do know, but they're not trying. Once again, that goes back to the stuff I've said about movies and TV shows. They're already guaranteed our money. They don't care about what we think. They're trying to bring in that casual fan, the person that's like doesn't read the comics, has never. I mean, I've seen, people that were talking about, they thought it was weird that they gender bended and they had Lady Deadpool. And the arguments, like, people were like, that's an actual comic book character. And so many people didn't know that. But it's just like, once again, you're bringing in casual fans who aren't aware of the source material. So
Right. And so a lot of people are getting upset over a lot of stupid things that they don't need to get upset about. And at the same time, yes, they did fan bend to one character, and that there was a Wrexham soccer player.
There was.
As a Deadpool. Okay, so oh no, they stepped outside Marvel Comics for a character.
Well, I mean, who was the executive producer of the film?
Rob, what's his name? But he was a Deadpool also.
Right.
Right, Ryan Reynolds.
But,
yeah.
So Ryan Reynolds is the executive producer, and half owner of the football team, and and the driving force behind the fact that we have Deadpool movies in the first place. So if he wants to promote his football team, let him. And,
Yeah.
honestly, he could have had his gin in there. Wolverine should have been drinking aviation gin instead of
How do you know he wasn't?
because I know he was. I know what Jim Beam looks like.
Now, what he did also do was bring in two of, well, kind of three, but more two of the biggest surprise cameos ever that for me that I saw in this movie.
His kids.
No,
Oh.
I figured his kids would be. I mean, if it was me, Gage would be all over the damn place
Yeah,
with my grandson,
of course, yeah.
Obviously.
Yes, three totals. Well, I would even say four.
No, I don't know. I'm going two because
Well,
I did
okay.
my best. I did my best to avoid spoilers of this movie.
Okay.
But I still found out because there's this thing called social media, and
Right.
as much as I tried to avoid it.
Okay, so Chris Evans wasn't a surprise. Who he played was the surprise.
Okay, I'll give you three now. Three. Elektra was a surprise. Here are the four people. All right, just so you guys know. And again, we're spoiling the shit out of this movie. If you haven't figured that out by now, then I don't know what to tell you. Then you've been smoking on these things too long. The first one, the biggest surprise for me was Wesley Snipes.
Yeah.
Had to be the biggest surprise for me.
Yeah.
Because they left Blade Trinity not friendly. So that was the rumor that they left Blade Trinity not friendly, and that Snipes was just a complete ass on the set.
Right.
Rumors were all over the place about how they didn't get along. And with the new Blade movie being made, I didn't think we were going to get anything like that. But Wesley Snipes showed up as Blade, and it was fantastic. And they even poked fun at it.
He looked great.
He did look great. A little skinny, but that's because he's old. The second biggest surprise for me was Channing Tatum as Gambit.
Yeah.
The way he showed up, and let's face it, his costume looked like shit, but it was the old school comic book version of the costume. And for that, I had to give him a lot of respect because he showed up as that.
So I think it was intentionally that, well, what I call the, Batman style, the old school Batman style, that Michael Keaton Batman style, because they went like super comic book accurate. Just because we've never seen that character other than, played by, what was his name? I can't remember that guy's name.
Riggins. That's all I know him as is Riggins. And John Carter.
Yeah. But however, he killed the role. He was hilarious.
Right.
He was.
I agree. And like I said, I just think his costume didn't translate well on screen.
And I think it was like I said, I feel it was kind of a tongue in cheek.
I'm not mad at the costume. I know
there's
why
a way. There's a way they
could
could do it comic book accurate, where it is more movable and everything like that.
Yeah.
But even if even look at his trench coat, it was like extremely like he looked like an action figure. Mm-hmm. And like I said, I think that was kind of intentional.
So that was the second surprise cameo. The third, which Richard already let out of the bag, was Chris Evans. Now, when we all saw him, and even Deadpool alluded to it, we thought we'd show up as Captain America.
Captain America, right?
But even with Deadpool worshiping him, like, "Ooh, say the line, Avengers Assemble." No, he showed up as Johnny Storm, the Human Torch, from Fantastic Four, which I thought was fantastic.
Yes, I think it was awesome.
No pun intended. It was fantastic. And the last cameo to show up which for me, honestly, I totally forgot about that uh, as a character or anything. Didn't even think about her showing up, and that was Jennifer Garner as Elektra. Um, I was I was like, oh shit, oh yeah, huh? She was in a Marvel movie.
Yeah.
She was
Well,
a character.
there's also X-23.
But I already knew that was going to come
Yeah,
out. I already knew
that
that
was
was
already,
happening.
yeah.
Because he had let it. It wasn't. They themselves let her out the bag because she kept showing up at the movie premieres.
Right. Well, they let her out just like they let Sabretooth out.
Right. And she kept showing up at all these movie premieres, so you're like, fuck, dude, she's in the movie. Thanks for ruining it. But she wanted to go out and have fun with them out there on tour, so good for her. Like, that's
Yeah.
awesome. But I love the way she played the role. I love the way she came across.
Yeah.
You know, I love her get over it speech to Wolverine.
I
Like,
think everybody killed their cameos. Even Jennifer Garner, I think did like I did not like the Elektra movie. I'm sure
right.
nobody did, honestly. But in that cameo, she felt like she actually had the essence of Elektra there. She had that attitude, that loss, that, you know what I'm saying? In that
Mhm.
little cameo bit, which she didn't have obviously in either of the movies, in Daredevil or in Elektra.
But
But
motherfuckers always kind of
that could be
iced it
writing
up
too.
there. That could be too. But
But Blade was by far my favorite of the cameos, and Cavalry. But yeah, by far Blade was amazing. And just once again, the choreograph and fight scenes are awesome. The little Easter eggs are in the movie, because I mean we're already almost halfway through this podcast and we got so much more to talk about. The Not even just the cameos of the characters that were in it, but um, vehicles, backward stuff in the background. You know, the 20th Century Fox logo, the Chimichanga van, the
Ant-Man.
Fantastic car. You know, Red Skull's vehicle. The total obvious homage to Mad Max. You know, it was just like there's so many little Easter eggs and so much depth in the movie, like something that you don't expect from not only a superhero movie, but one that's very tongue in cheek. You know, the amount of depth and how much detail is in pretty much every single scene.
Yeah. And of course, they had to bring in Nathan Fillion into the movie because they can't film a Marvel or DC film without Nathan Fillion in it
I don't
somewhere.
think they can film. I don't think legally you can film anything without Nathan Fillion in it.
I think that's pretty much anything geek related has to have Nathan Fillion in it.
Right.
He was Headpool, the floating zombie head that you'll see in there if you haven't seen it yet. That was the
Yeah.
one popcorn holder I wanted, was Headpool.
Yeah, and the cameos that were in the Deadpools were pretty awesome. You know, I mean, you know, obviously his kids, his wife, you know, Matthew McConaughey.
Mm-hmm.
It was, you know,
He was Cowboy Deadpool.
right.
His wife was Lady Deadpool. His kids were the two kid Deadpools running around.
Yeah, the baby pool and kid pool.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's one of those things, like it was just it was so fun. And like I said, there's details everywhere that watching it once you're gonna miss. Like, it's a movie that I think everybody needs to watch multiple times.
Did you happen to notice how many times Deadpool smacked Wolverine's ass in their fight
Yeah.
scenes?
Just how much ass smacking in general. Think about when he was getting his costume done by the Ryan Reynolds has always had this weird thing with that. So
Oh, and when
I mean, maybe they're just trying to sell the controllers.
maybe they're trying to sell those controllers, or when Wolverine's shirt gets ripped off finally, and everybody's like, "Damn,
Well, yeah, yeah.
we
I
have you
mean,
till you're 90, Wolverine."
yeah. All in all, like I said, that's something the movie is something I think people need to watch multiple times in order to catch everything. Unless you're one of those people that's just going to read all the spoilers.
Yeah,
But
even
even
if you
then,
do, you're still missing it.
yeah.
So, all right, let's move on from Deadpool Wolverine. We obviously give it 2 enthusiastic thumbs up.
Oh yeah, very much.
Um, San Diego Comic Con came and went this weekend.
Yeah.
Of all the news that came out, what are you excited about? What do you want to talk about?
There's a couple things toy wise that really caught my eye. Number one, I think probably one of the biggest things that a lot of people are talking about is Hasbro released the statement of their next HasLab, which is the GI Joe Rattler, and that thing looks awesome. And it's actually, the price isn't that bad. I think it's $325.
That's it.
Yeah, I mean, for a HasLab, that's a decent price, and that thing's huge. It is a beefy sucker, and it has lights. I'm not sure if it has sounds, but I know it does. It definitely has lights. It comes with Wild Weasel. I don't know what any of the what are they goal figures that are going to come afterwards are. I just know the base, but it is an impressive looking vehicle, and that is probably the one thing that I'm the most excited about that I've seen from any of the toy companies. I would say that would be the top. There was a lot of releases and a lot of announcements from both Mattel and Jazzwares on upcoming wrestling figures. The coolest thing to me is with WWE figures, we're getting a lot of first in line figures, because the one problem with WWE and the action figures is we get like 1,000 Ultimate Warriors and John Cena's, and we're getting the same character, the same wrestlers over and over again. Now we're finally starting to get into the mix of some of these younger wrestlers that are up and coming and stuff like that. And even they're releasing re-releasing a lot of what they call vaults from the vault. So it's stuff that they made years ago that they're re-releasing, which kind of sucks because it's bringing down the price of the older ones. But they're really dipping in and really going all out with CM Punk right now. They're re-releasing his the masked what was it called, the Shredded Society, when he had his head shaved and wore the mask, had the sling on his arm. They're re-releasing that. They're releasing an Ultimate Edition, which is from when he supposedly his contract expired and he went home as a world champion and blew the kiss to Vince McMahon, left with the world title. And actually the character, like the figure, has two heads, has the regular slick back hair, and then it has the messed up hair after the match, and then it also has the hand where he's blowing the kiss. So the details on that figure are really cool. There's I know they just also released like a Zoe Stark. That's her first in line figure. Lexus King, which is Brian Pillman Jr., he's getting his first. There's a lot of people from NXT getting their first figures, and the two figures, I should say, the one wrestler, but yet two figures that I'm most excited is they actually got the licensing to make Great Muta figures.
Nice. I saw that.
Yeah, so they're releasing a regular edition Elite Great Muta, as well as a Ultimate Edition Great Muta, and those things look awesome. And then Jazzwares has, I mean, they're releasing a Sting box set from Jazzware. AEW is, where it goes all the way back. So it's 3 different versions of Sting. So you're going to get the Blade Runner Sting, the Surfer Sting, and then up into the Crow Sting. So you're getting that box set. You're getting, you're finally getting a trios set of the House of Black. You're getting, I'm trying to remember some of the other ones that were released. They announced they're doing Timeless Tony Storm. So the figure actually comes black and white. So that actually looks pretty cool. They're doing Mercedes. And who else do they have coming out?
Didn't they do the box set of Sting before?
No, they did.
2001?
What's that?
The 2001 version?
No, that was Toy Biz that did that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this is AEW that's doing this. That's Jazzwares. And they actually look pretty cool. Jazzwares has been doing better on their molding has got better. It's just their paint applications that are very iffy sometimes. And McFarlane's got some really cool stuff coming out. McFarlane actually, they have a specific set. I believe it is a website exclusive. They're doing a set of the Blues Brothers.
Yeah, I saw that one.
Yeah, that one I'm pretty excited about. Also, you got the deluxe Jonah Hex that comes with the horse. That looks pretty awesome. There's a lot of really awesome toys that are coming out. Hasbro announced so many GI Joes. It's ridiculous, and I can't even. No, those aren't.
These are the AEW ones from Jazzwares.
Yeah, those are just different versions of single ones that have been come out. That's not the box set.
Oh, okay.
The box set, it just has the mock-ups, but it has like the Blade Runner version, which is like him. There's 2 of them, him in just tights, and then one of that one, with the suspenders and everything. And I'm sure we're gonna get like new Darby Allin and stuff like that. But like I said, we're finally getting the House of Black, which I'm excited about. We just barely got Buddy Murphy we just barely got Buddy Matthews not that long ago. I think Brody King came out the same time as Danhausen. So, but to get all 3 of them together in one set, I think is really cool. They also announced, I know they're doing the guns. And I believe Will Ospreay. I'm pretty sure there is a Will in there. And they're doing we got 2 different Kenny Omegas coming out of one's a new Kenny Omega and one is him on the Independents. So there's Jazzware's got some stuff. We got a lot of wrestlers coming out. GI Joe, Hasbro's got a ton of GI Joes coming out. Like too many to even mention. Honestly, it is. They just keep releasing those things in droves. Like there is so many coming out that it's hard to keep up with them. But there's, like I said, there's so many new toys that are coming out. It's pretty exciting. I did not catch the one thing I didn't catch from San Diego was I didn't see what NECA has coming out next. I know Super 7 got the licensing for The Simpsons, so they have a Simpsons line coming out. I'm pretty sure they're going to be ridiculously expensive too, but
everything is.
You know what? Playmates did so good with them, and they were reasonably priced. I don't see why they just didn't leave it. You know?
Did you already mention the GI Joe Transformers one?
I have not yet. I was actually saving that for you because that's the only Transformers news I caught. I didn't catch. I actually totally missed when I think it was Saturday is when the Transformers news came out. So I didn't see that one. I was watching, wasn't there? I think there was a pay-per-view or something going on. so I didn't see the Transformers announcements. But I did see that the Triple T Transformer is coming out, which is, it looks pretty awesome.
Yeah, the Sergeant Slaughter vehicle. I don't remember which vehicle.
It's a little mini tank.
Yeah, it's the little mini tank that Sergeant Slaughter
Right.
ridiculously doesn't fit into.
Yeah, I don't know who the Transformer is.
Neither do I. Yeah, it's weird, but it looks pretty awesome. I'm
Yeah.
sure. I'm sure. I have images showing up right now. Uh, it looks really cool and a lot of fun. And from what I understand from a lot of the other collectors, I originally came into the GI Joe Transformers crossover uh, excited, but then I heard that they were cheaply made, so I got rid of my collection before even opening and playing with them.
Yeah, they
And now
don't.
I'm hearing conflicting reports that they're actually pretty cool.
So the first wave had very brittle joints
Right.
and tend to look good only in vehicle mode. The second wave were much better, and I hear they've been just improving.
And that's what I've
So
been hearing too. And so I'm back on the market for them.
I think what they did is they finally got people that actually work on Transformers involved instead of having people that work on GI Joes involved. So they actually took into account the stress and everything that the joints go through while transforming.
Right. Because people don't understand, like, there are people out there, there are collectors out there that transform these things hundreds of times.
Right.
They're not like, collectors where, you transform them once and put them on the shelf. I
Well,
myself, I myself play with my Transformers once a year or twice a year, converting them back and forth.
I
So I,
feel like
yeah,
that's the thing with, okay, so um even though forever I was a box collector, I have a lot of loose stuff. And I don't really like, with action figures, you put them in one pose, you set it up, and that's really about it. Maybe you change their pose when you take them down to dust them, but there's not a whole, like, your average adult collector isn't, going with stuff. But with Transformers, I feel that you do actively play with it. You do transform it. It's more than just one pose. So
you don't buy Optimus Prime because you like him as a robot. You buy Optimus
right,
Prime because you like options.
right,
You like him as a vehicle, especially if he looks like a clean semi truck. And then you transform into a vehicle and he looks like an awesome robot. You buy them for both modes, and so you can't just. Obviously, the cure is to buy 3 versions of the same toy. One to
yeah,
store and never open, one to keep in vehicle mode, and one to keep in robot mode. Or you play with it. That's your only other option. So decide how much money you're going to spend on it and go from there. I play with my toys.
yeah. That's pretty much it for the movie news, or the toy news that I remember from the stuff that caught my eye, at least. And I didn't
Yeah.
pay attention to every single thing because I don't really, I didn't listen to the Hot Wheel news. I don't really care. Didn't listen to the Funko news, which I don't think there was a whole lot of that. Funkos are kind of dwindling down, you know. Um, but there was a lot of movie news too.
Yeah, there was a lot of movie news that came out. I didn't pay attention to a lot of the news that came out.
There was one extremely controversial bit of new information dropped,
Which was,
which is who is playing Doom in Avengers Doomsday.
oh my god, I don't see that as controversial so much as I see that as lazy writing.
I, I, lazy, convenient, whatever you want to call it. In the end, it's going to sell tickets.
I mean, we got 10 minutes left in the show. Let's go ahead. Let's talk about this
Okay.
because this is a big thing, a big deal people are talking about.
Oh yeah, it's
And
all over. I keep hearing about it. So
I personally think it's ridiculous either way. But So
I'm
the
a
big
fan of it.
spoiler news about it is that Robert Downey Jr., who had played Iron Man before, was officially killed off in the Avengers series and in the MCU, and had promised that he had retired, that he was done with the MCU. He didn't want to come back to it; it was too stressful, and he had retired from it, along with the other Avengers that were in the previous movies, the ones that had passed away or what have you
Well,
on
I mean,
screen.
technically, he
They
said he was
were
done playing
all
Iron Man.
right. They were all done. Period. Because they wanted to be able to do other things with their career.
Right.
Well, flash forward, and here we have uh, um, what Jonathan Majors, who was supposed to be the big bad,
Yeah, the next big bad.
the next big bad, and being what was his character's name again? Kang the
And
Conqueror.
yeah,
Well, Jonathan Majors got a little too big in his ego and did something stupid.
you know what? I won't get into opinions on that whole situation.
He did
But
something stupid,
yes,
and it got
definitely,
caught on
definitely,
tape.
definitely stupid. Whether he was provoked or not, whatever the situation is, when you're
Whatever
that public of a figure, you
when
definitely
you
don't
work,
retaliate.
look, when you work for Disney,
Yeah.
you follow Disney's rules. If you
Yes.
want to
Yeah.
continue getting that Disney check, you shut the fuck up and you do what Disney tells you to do.
Yeah. You got
Gina
that code of
Carano is
conduct.
following that problem right now.
Well,
She
yeah, he was supposed to be the next big bad throughout all of the Marvel universe.
everything. They put so much money on that dude and so much faith that when he screwed up, they had no choice but to fire him, and they had to scramble and figure out what to do next. And what they did was put their all their money and all their souls on Robert Downey Jr. And the only reason Robert Downey Jr. agreed to it was that they hired the Russo brothers. And so now they got the Russo brothers. They're paying Robert Downey Jr. Uh, um, $50 million to be in this movie, and the Russos, they're also paying $50 million to be in the movie, 25 each, and they're also giving them cutbacks, residuals
And I
to
and I
be
think
in this movie.
and I think it's money well spent.
And I'm not saying it's not. I'm just telling you this is what happens when you're a big star and you screw up. Disney's got to scramble, and so they go back and they have to get Robert Downey Jr. Now the question is, will they do it right?
Right.
With the Russos, they did great job on the Avengers movies. I'll give them that.
Yeah.
And so I'm anxious to see how they bring Robert Downey Jr. back as Doom. Will it be a variant? Will it be he was plucked from the timeline, or he was somehow he didn't kill himself, or when he snapped his fingers, he ended up where fucking what's his name ended up and was still alive? Or is it going to be a completely different story? Or are they going to take it from the comic book where he's
And
from
be
an
from
alternate
another
Earth?
world or another Earth.
Yeah, like
I mean,
which one is it
I
going to be?
I was a fan. I was a fan of Tony Stark as Doctor Doom, like that comic. Those were
And
it was good. I liked it.
and as a
I
big
look,
foreshadowing of what's coming up with the Marvel universe, uh, in comic books right now, Doctor Doom is now the Sorcerer Supreme. He took it away from Doctor Strange and is now the
right.
Sorcerer Supreme.
Well, I
So
mean,
that means
Doctor Strange has been Doctor Doom in the past before too.
right,
Hell,
but
Ego's with Doctor Doom. We
so
had
now we
Doom
get to
Planet.
see, is that going to lead into the movie? Like,
Yeah,
what are we going to
that's a
see
big
now?
question. Like, there's a lot of questions now, but for as much as people are complaining or saying it's lazy or it's the one thing it's going to do is number one, it washes that stink off of the Marvel universe that was left because of Jonathan Majors. You know, it takes that bad taste out of people's mouth. Everybody's just like, "Oh, Robert Downey Jr.'s back." It's a distraction. Number one. Number
Right.
two, I think he'll kill the role.
Of course, he'll kill the
And
role.
and let's be honest. In the end, he's going to sell more tickets probably than anybody else you could have put in that role.
Yep.
So, and Disney is all about their money. So, I think it's going to go over real well. The Russo brothers actually do. I think they do fabulous work. So I'm not as worried about the script as I would be with other people. I'm very hopeful. So I think it's gonna come off really good. And there's Marvel has some big things happening in the Marvel universe, and I mean that literally. We did see that little clip. We did see the eyes. We are going to see the man.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope it doesn't turn into a big fart cloud or anything like that. Stupid absorbing man. We saw the Fantastic Four footage come out from their panel this weekend, which showed all 4 members of the Fantastic Four. It's been leaked so far what the movie is about, and that it isn't an origin story. It's a story that's already of them taking place in the 60s retro future. So kind of like Elroy Jetson, like the Jetsons.
Yeah.
That's the kind of timeline that they're in the 60s, but retro future. So you're going to get a lot of that Jetson style stuff.
It has that WandaVision feel to it.
Right. And I think they're doing it that way because they want to include the robot, Herbie. And
right.
I think they want to include a lot of other things. You'll get Origin splashed in here throughout here and there, but for the most part, they're trying to skip it. And one of the things that you saw in some of the footage that aired, which by the way, they started filming the movie the day after Comic-Con.
Right.
So all they had was some test footage.
Test footage, right.
And what they had was Galactus's head walking by an office building and looking in as he walked by.
Yeah.
And that's got everybody excited.
And it's just basic. Like you could tell looking at it, it's pretty basic early on CG.
Right.
But it doesn't matter because it looks awesome.
And also, while that was happening, there was a light show going on at Petco Park.
Yeah.
Where they had drones coming together in the form of a shape of Galactus's head.
Yeah.
Rising above the stadium.
Yeah, that was pretty awesome.
Fantastic. I'm going to add it into this. So hopefully you're looking at that right now as we're talking. But I thought that was pretty classy.
Yeah, that's some awesome marketing, especially for something that hasn't been filmed yet.
That's something like I missed. I wished I could have been there for that to see that.
Yeah.
But I'm excited for the Fantastic Four movie coming out. Pedro Pascal. I mean, I haven't seen anything bad he's done yet.
He's been good in everything he's ever been in. So
I think he's stretched out, getting stretched a little too thin at this point. But until he breaks and snaps, I'm going to enjoy everything he does. The only thing I did miss about going to Comic-Con this year was the 20th anniversary of Shaun of the Dead. They had the Winchester bar open down there, and you can go in, and they had zombies walking around in there. They had pints of ale you could get. They had Shaun of the Dead beer cans and cricket paddles and all that stuff and merch that you could go in there and get. And I would have loved to have gone down there and gotten myself a fucking pint. I don't drink, but I would have.
That is the one thing I miss is having the funds like I used to even just go down there and do the outside stuff, not even go into Comic-Con. Like you can make an entire experience of everything that's outside.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
and I would have loved to have been able to do that, but
yeah,
it just
and there was a Ninja Turtles pizza thing too.
Yep.
So yeah, I saw some really cool stuff, but there's some awesome news. I'm glad I didn't have to deal with those crowds though. So
absolutely.
But I am excited for a lot of the toys. I'm excited for a lot of the movies. I am very hopeful for Robert Downey Jr. as like Doom is my favorite villain in the Marvel universe. So, and that might be why I'm so excited about it. But I think it's going to be done right. So,
Hopefully, they'll bring in um, what's his name, the guy that played Gollum, because Andy Serkis, because he played Claw in the Wakanda movies, Black Panther
mhm.
movies, and Claw was Doom's little minion for a while there, especially
Yeah,
during Secret Wars. So maybe they'll bring them in together. That'd be awesome to see.
some Doom
Um,
bots.
and they also showed a lot of behind the scenes footage, and they had a not behind the scenes footage, but they had a featurette shown there of the Alien Covenant movie, which they also released online, showing interviews and backstage and behind the
Yeah,
scenes and all the creature effects that they used for Alien Covenant and all that stuff that's coming out. And that would have been nice to see. You also got anybody that went to the panel got a life-size face
yeah.
hugger
I was like, everybody
mask.
got face huggers.
Yeah, everybody got a face hugger mask that they can wrap around their head, and they got to see the movie. They got a sneak peek of the full movie screening there.
Oh wow,
Uh,
I didn't know that.
yeah, which I'm completely jealous of. I would have liked all that, but that's all right. I got tickets. I'm going in 2 weeks. Whatever. I'll wait. So, unless you have anything else you want to talk about, Richard,
Nope, that's pretty much it.
I want to remind everybody to go visit Richard's website, chaoscollectibles.com, collectibles.com, Red Head Naked Running Through the Streets collections.com. That's where you'll find Richard the most. He's got awesome toy collections and customization classes that he's got going on. All kinds of things he's got doing over on his site. He's also does a podcast, and he's working with the Shadow News Network, right?
Yeah,
Doing all kinds of stuff with them. Head over to his website, find out more information. I don't know how. I somehow am the only one in the world with the app for his website, and so I'm gonna
yeah. I
give you
still
all
don't. Yeah, it apparently it was made just for you.
just for me, and that's okay. I'm special that way. But if you guys get a chance, head over to his website, check it out, see something that you like, and buy it. Um,
Please.
yeah, head over to our website if you see something you like there, buy it, please. Lord knows I could use the money. We
We
sponsor
we
each
are we
other,
are
which
struggling
is
small
bad.
businesses, man. We're trying to stay afloat.
We sponsor each other, and neither one of us have any money, which is why we get such high quality equipment to broadcast with. Um, why we shoot from our studio locations. But at the end of the day, we love doing this, and we'll continue doing this as long as we can. But please help and support us in any way you can and see fit to. Thanks again, Richard, for joining me. For everybody else at Forbidden Panel, we thank you for tuning in. Thank you guys at home, and we'll see you on the next episode.